Good morning. In the previous lecture, we have discussed about the diffusion. Now we are going to study about the osmosis. Water also obeys the laws of diffusion. In osmosis, there is movement of water. In osmosis, there is movement of water. The movement of water molecules through such a selectively permeable membrane. This is called osmosis. Okay, movement of water through the semi permeable or the selectively permeable membrane, this is called the osmosis. Okay, now what is this osmosis and how does it happens, we will study about this. The movement of water across the the movement of water across the membrane, selectively permeable membrane, is affected by the amount of substances dissolved in water. So osmosis is the passage of water from a region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration till the concentration till equilibrium is reached, means balance is reached. Now here look at the three cases. If the medium surrounding the cell has a higher water concentration than the cell, if we have taken just simple water and we will put gram, raisins or apricots in it and we will soak them for some time, then we will see that it means the movement will take place from outside to inside. Such a solution, if the medium surrounding the cell has a higher water concentration than the cell, then it means that the outside solution is dilute. Then cell will gain water by the osmosis. Such a solution is known as the hypotonic solution. We can say that dilute solution is called the hypotonic solution, and in this case the movement will take place from outside to inside, and this will result in that the water will enter inside the cell and the cell is likely to swell up. Okay, the question is that what happens to the cell in the hypotonic solution? The cell will swell up. Why it will swell up? Due to the movement of water from outside to inside. Okay, now the question is that what about the isotonic solution? What do you mean by isotonic solution? Iso means same. When there is a same concentration of water outside and inside of the cell. Look at this second point. If the medium has exactly the same water concentration as the cell, there will be no net movement of water across the cell membrane. Such a solution is known as the isotonic solution. Look, the medium having same concentration of water inside means inside and outside the cell, outside of the cell the water concentration is same, so no net movement will take place and the cell will remain of the same size. Okay, and the third case is that if the medium has the lower concentration of water than the cell, meaning that the solution is concentrated means that the water in the water there is some solute is dissolved, then there will be this solution. This type of solution is called the hypertonic solution. This type of solution is called hypertonic. It means now the solution is hypertonic, the cell inside the cell water is more and outside it is less, then the movement will take place from inside to outside. So this will lead to therefore the cell will shrink. So cell will shrink, right? We have studied about there three kinds of the solution, that is hypotonic, isotonic and the hypertonic. What happens to the size of cell in the hypotonic solution? Hypotonic solution, the cell size will increase. In isotonic solution, the cell size will remain the same. In hypertonic solution, the cell size will shrink. Okay, so osmosis is a special case of diffusion. Osmosis is a special case of diffusion through a selectively permeable membrane. Now here is an activity, one more. Osmosis with an egg. You have seen an egg is having a covering, that is hard covering, and that hard covering, it is made up of calcium carbonate. Remove the shell of an egg by dissolving it. We have not to break the egg, we will keep the egg in the hydrochloric acid. In hydrochloric acid, when we will keep it, the calcium carbonate that will react with the hydrochloric acid and it will become very very thin. Now the egg, what will happen to, then a thin cover over the skin, over the egg, that will be seen, and we can see what is inside the cell through this membrane. Now put this egg in the pure water, and after some time, we will observe that the cell size will increase, egg size will increase. It means the osmosis has taken place, the water from outside has entered into the egg. And when we place the same egg in the that has got swollen up in the salt solution or the sugar solution, we will say that then the egg size will shrink. What happens now? The movement has taken place from inside to outside. So we can say that the osmosis takes place in the two ways, that is exosmosis and endosmosis. Exosmosis, that is the movement of water from inside to outside. X means out, and endosmosis mean inside, that is movement from outside to inside. Okay, now we can give the examples of the raisins also. In case of the raisins, kishmish, that are, and the apricots, when we keep them in the plain water, they will become swell up. And if we keep these swollen up raisins and apricots in the sugar water or the salt water, then the size will shrink. It means exosmosis and endosmosis has taken place. In first case, endosmosis will take place, water will move from outside to inside. And in second case, when we keep the swollen raisins or apricots in the sugar solution, then the endosmosis will take place, then exosmosis will take place. The water movement will be from inside to outside. Okay, so now what is the importance of osmosis? Unicellular freshwater organism and most plants that also take water through this osmosis. Absorption of water by the plant root is an also example of the osmosis. So diffusion is important for the gaseous exchange and the water movement that takes place through the osmosis. Okay, now what about the plasma membrane? The plasma membrane, that is called cell membrane, that is a flexible and it is made up of organic molecules. Plasma membrane is made up of lipids and proteins. Now the question is that what is the plasma membrane made of? What is the nature of plasma membrane? It is flexible, it is made up of lipids and the protein. We can give the example of amoeba also. Amoeba, that is made up of single cell. Amoeba is made up of single cell, it is not having any fixed shape. Look, this is the amoeba. It will take food through this membrane. This membrane is called cell membrane or plasma membrane. This membrane is called cell membrane or plasma membrane. So it will take food through this cell membrane or plasma membrane. Okay, this will take food from this by the cell membrane. And this movement, that is it will take food through this, engulf food through this cell membrane. So this is called endocytosis. Underline this is called endocytosis. Okay, this is called endocytosis. Clear? Is it okay? Now we will study about the different parts of the cells. That is, we have discussed this plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is common in every kind of the, that is prokaryotic, eukaryotic, each kind of the cell has plasma membrane, that is the boundary of the cell. Now what is the another feature? That is the cell wall. That is the cell wall. Now what is cell wall? Cell wall is only present in the plants. Cell wall, it is an addition to, in case of the plant cells, there is another wall around the plasma membrane that provides it protection, that another rigid means hard covering around the plasma membrane, that is called cell wall. And the cell wall lie outside the plasma membrane, and the plant cell wall, it is made up of cellulose. It is very important question, what is cell wall made up of? It is made up of cellulose. What is cellulose? It is a complex substance that is provides structural strength, that provide hardness to the plant. And when a living plant cell loses water through the osmosis, there is a shrinkage or contraction of the contents of the cell away from the cell wall. This phenomena is called plasmolysis. This is also very, very important. What is plasmolysis? Plasmolysis mean when the cell loses water through the osmosis, there is a shrinkage on the contents of the cell, or the cell away from the cell wall. This phenomena is called the plasmolysis. Okay, this was the cell wall. Now the cell wall is the special structure that is only present in the plant cells. And why do plants they have the cell wall? Why there is no cell wall in the animal cells? Because cell wall, that is because plants are fixed, and they need special protection because they can't move. So God has given them an extra protective covering, that is the cell wall. Cell wall permit the cells of the plants, fungi and bacteria to withstand very dilute hypotonic external media without bursting. In such media, the cells tend to take up water by osmosis, and the cells swell, and then they will build pressure against the cell wall, and this will leads to the swollen up of the cells. And because of their walls, such cells can withstand much greater changes in the surrounding medium than animal cells. Okay, this was all about the cell wall. Cell wall is only present in the plants, not present in the animals. Now the control center, which is the control center of the cell, which is the control center of the cell, that is called the nucleus. Nucleus, when this is the control center of the cell. According to this, we can say that when we keep the cell, when we see the cell under the microscope, we will get the region that is getting just like, look at this, this is the like cell, and this is the plasma membrane, and here it is the center part, that is the nucleus. It will get, we will do the iodine test, and it will become darker. So it means that this is a special part, that is the nucleus of the cell. That is now we will discuss about what is the nucleus of the cell. Nucleus is the control center of the cell. Nucleus is the control center of the cell. And nucleus has double membrane. Look here, I am making that the nucleus is having double layered covering called the nuclear membrane. Look at this. This is this is nuclear membrane, double layered. It is double layered, and the nuclear membrane has pores. Look here, there are pores in which allow the transfer of materials from inside to the nucleus to the outside. Okay, the nucleus has a double membrane, double layered covering, that is called nuclear membrane. That is called nuclear membrane. The nucleus contain chromosome. Inside the nucleus there are the chromosomes. Now what is the chromosomes? These are the rod-like structures. These are the rod-like structures only when the cell is about to divide. Chromosomes look like rod-like structures when the cell is going to divide. Otherwise, they appear as the entangled mass of thread, and they are called the chromatin material. Okay, they are called the chromatin material. Chromosomes contain information for the inheritance of the characters. Chromosome contain information for the inheritance of the character from parent to the next generation in the form of DNA. Underline this, deoxyribonucleic acid. This is small. Chromosomes are also composed of the protein, that is the DNA. DNA molecule contain the information necessary for constructing the organizing or cells. Our structures matches with our parents. This is because of the chromosomes, the DNA. Okay, in a cell which is not dividing, this DNA is present as a part of chromatin material, and chromatin material is visible as entangled mass of the thread-like structure. When the cell is about to divide, then the chromosomes they appear like rod-like structure. Okay, now we say that chromosome, it is the, that is nucleus plays the role of, nucleus is the control center of the cell. All the activities of the cell are controlled by the nucleus. All the activities of the cell are controlled by the nucleus. So we said that the nucleus is the control center. When the cell is going to divide, when there is a reproduction, cellular reproduction, and the process by which a single cell divides and form two new cells, then we say that then the nucleus plays a very, very important role. And in some organism like bacteria, in some, according to the nucleus development, we can divide the cell into two categories, that is prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. In cases some bacteria, nuclear region of the cell may be poorly defined due to the absence of nuclear membrane, and these only contain nucleic acid, and this is called nucleoid, and these types of the cells are called prokaryotic cells. Okay, and in which the nucleus is well developed organism with the cells having nuclear membrane are called the eukaryotic cells. Prokaryotic cells, they lack other cytoplasmic organelles, but in case of eukaryotic cells all the organelles are present, and in this case we can say that many of the functions of such organelles are performed by poorly organized part of the cytoplasm. Chlorophyll in the photosynthetic prokaryotic bacteria is associated with the membrane vesicles, bag like structure, but not with the plastids as in the eukaryotic cells. Here this is the diagram of prokaryotic cell. Look here is a cell wall, plasma membrane, and ribosomes and nucleus. Here is no boundary, there is no boundary around the nucleus, so this is called the prokaryotic cell. But in case of eukaryotic cell, there is a boundary, there will be a boundary around the cell, around the nucleus. Okay, so that is called the eukaryotic cell. Now what is the cytoplasm? Cytoplasm, it is the fluid content. When we observe the cytoplasm under when we observe the cell under the microscope, we will observe the fluid material that will completely fill the cell, that is called the cytoplasm. Okay, that is called the cytoplasm, and the part of the cell that takes very little stain on iodine test, so that is the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is the fluid content inside the plasma membrane, and it also contains organelles that perform different function in the cells. They all are present inside the cytoplasm. Cell organelles are enclosed by membrane. In prokaryotic, besides the absence of defined nuclear region, the membrane bonded cell organelles are also absent. In prokaryotic cells, no membrane bonded cell organelles are present, but in case of eukaryotic, membrane bonded cell organelles are present. Okay, now the significance of the membrane can be illustrated with the help of the example of virus. Virus lack any membrane, and hence they do not show the characteristic of life until they enter the living body and use its cell machinery to multiply. In case of virus, there is no membrane, so when it enters the body of the host, then it will use the cells of the host body. Okay, so virus is a dead line between the boundary line between the dead and the living organism. Now what is the we can say that what is the difference between the prokaryotic and the eukaryotic cells? This is also you have to do this. What is the difference between the prokaryotic and the eukaryotic cells? Prokaryotic cells are generally smaller in size, these are generally large in size. Nuclear region not well developed, and that is called the nucleoid. Nuclear region well defined and surrounded by nuclear membrane. You have to write here that the nuclear region not well defined and not surrounded by nuclear membrane, and it is known as nucleoid. Nucleoid. Chromosome in the prokaryotic cell is single, in this case eukaryotic cell more than one. Membrane bond cell organelle is absent, in this case we will write that membrane bonded cell organelles are present. Okay, this was all about, and rest of cell organelles we will do in the next lecture. Okay, now you have to write these differences in your notebook also. Okay, you have to write